This will be okay. I'm going to introduce Jennifer Matthews, and she's an old friend of mine. Her music, Jennifer, I wrote an article about her in the Somerville Times, and I wrote that Jennifer Matthews doesn't walk into a room. It's more like she drifts in like some haunting riff from a distant, deep blue guitar. Matthews, formerly a Somerville resident, is an accomplished musician who devised categorization. She told me at the Sherman Cafe, which is now defunct, we actually ate there on its last day in existence, that she's a singer, songwriter, and roots rock and roll musician. By roots, Matthews means she uses an acoustic guitar, mandolin, foot stomps, hand claps, and her signature acoustic blue guitar. Her music addresses the ontological questions, the long journeys, the joys, and the ephemeral nature of love, with always a look to what is beyond, the material dimension. Her ever-present wanderlust has taken her all over Europe, Alaska, Austin, Texas, and off the grid hand-built earth ship house in the Ortiz Mountains outside Madrid, New Mexico. According to her website from 2006, to current time, she's been touring locally and abroad. She was in Rome in 2010, where she released a DVD live at the Piper Club in Rome. And she has released a new album that she worked with the acclaimed, what would you call him, Phil Green?
Yeah, engineer, producer.
And she's also collaborated on a poem with me. She brought this poem to music entitled "Oh, Don't She Said." So welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you, Doug.
It has been said that your music defies categorization. I mean, I guess you did actually define it. I mean, have you ever tried to categorize it? Has anyone ever tried to categorize it?
Well, that's always been a little bit of a difficult thing because I think I'm eclectic. You know, I'm a singer-songwriter, but I don't always write the same. I mix it up. You know, I go from my baritone to my mandolin to this, and yeah, that's categorization. I don't know. Singer-songwriter works.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, more recently, you collaborated with poet Dennis Daly. Now you're collaborating with him and me, and you're putting a poem to music. Tell me about. Maybe you want to sing the song that you've created out of my poem, "Oh, Don't She Said," which was dedicated to my mother.
Can we talk about that first, and then I'll sing it?
All right. Yes, and tell me about the process.
All right. So, Doug, the thing is I don't remember exactly how. I thought did you just hand me the poem one day or send it by email and say, okay, Jennifer, this is my new poem?
Can't remember myself.
Yeah. All right. Well, Doug, you showed me your poem, and I thought I heard it musically. I heard it as a song, and so we said yes. And then my process was I had to sit with it for a while. You know, I would go look at it, read it through, and sit with my guitar. Nothing was coming through, so I would tape the lyrics on my wall, and I would walk by it every day and look at it, read it, and the inspiration just came through one day.
Okay.
And I wrote this song.
Let's hear the results, Jennifer.
Okay. Actually, before I play it, could you tell about the poem?
Actually, I can, Jennifer.
That would be helpful.
Yes, the poem was written. My mother and I were on a train. My mother's 88 years old, but she looks much younger. And we're on the train. It was Thanksgiving. I was taking a train back to New York, and I reached for her hand. She says, "Oh no, it's cold," you know, and it was sort of like an emblematic of our relationship. You know, over the years there was some times of trouble, but I thought we reconciled, and so I thought that hands are very expressive, and the joining of hands means a lot to me and most people, I think. So that's how the song. You know, I was compelled to write it I was compelled to write. And so this little dialogue on a train at night coming back from a Thanksgiving dinner sort of said it all. And I think, you know, you brought it to even more life with your musical acumen.
Yeah. Now, were you going from Long Island to New York City?
No, I was going from Westchester to New York City, where I was staying in Chelsea section of New York City.
That's right. Okay. So originally it was called "Oh Don't She Said It's Cold."
Oh, don't she said it's cold. It's cold. It's cold.
Right.
Yes. And you changed it to "Oh, don't she said."
Right.
And you changed some of the lyrics around as needed because to fit a song, this is different than the dynamics of a poem.
Exactly.
And so, you know, you made some changes in it. But as we say, the essence of the poem is still there.
Very much.
Yeah.
Okay. So the good thing about this story is that when you played it for your mother, she got it, and it really, she understood it.
She did. She did. And she, whenever she listens to it, she cries. And it's also. And by the way, I know you're very particular, but I know that you do works on commission now, for, you know, and you can be reached at. How can you be reached? If someone was interested in you putting their poems to music, how might you be reached?
Just call my name and I'll be there.
Oh, the artist. They don't know how to make money. Jennifer Matthews?
Jennifer, it's, my email is jennifer@jennifermatthews.com.
And jennifermatthews.com is your website, right?
My website is www.jennifermatthews.com.
So you can call her and get a consultation, and if she likes your work and feels that she can work with it, then you can discuss a possible project.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, don't, she said, I got a lot on my head. Oh, don't, she said. Oh, don't, she
never get tired of listening to it.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Now, you've traveled extensively. One might say that for your younger years, and even now, you have the sense of wanderlust. You just moved from the city of Cambridge, actually, right?
Yes, I did.
Another move. I've seen you go through many moves.
We don't want to talk about that. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Well, you know,
Yeah, that's life.
the life of the artist.
Life of an artist, right?
You know?
And it's probably good for you to travel.
Well, it's very good.
Yeah.
You know, it's great songs come out of it, a lot of inspiration.
Sure.
You know?
Right. I get my inspiration right here in Somerville, but, you know, whatever you need, all right? Now, what draws you back to this area? And are you happier on the road, you think, than at home? Or what do you think? How does it work for you?
Well, being on the road is wonderful in a lot of ways because you... Am I supposed to look at you or the camera?
I know it's difficult, but do look at me as if we're having a conversation.
All right.
She's a brave woman, folks. Don't look at me directly on here. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so being on the road is wonderful because you're free. You know, you feel free. You know, you have a show every night, you know, different town every night. You know, you roll in, you play the show, you meet great people, you have conversation, you know,
like
everybody
when you were in Alaska, for instance, you traveled all around, right?
Yeah. But that one tour I did in Alaska, it was like a 5-month tour. It was like, you know, a different town every night. You know, so you're on the road, you're traveling, you're surrounded by incredible, you know, nature. We've got eagles flying all over in the mountains, and this is your drive to the next gig, you know, and then you pull in and you check into the hotel and you go play the gig, and it's amazing to be in a different town every night, meet different, you know, new audience every night. And
Right.
yeah, and so when you get into that and you're on, you know, you're on that journey for a month, 2 months, 3 months, it just, you experience life differently than you do, you know, working at you know, you have your home, you go to work every day, the same job, the same desk, the same chair, the same people.
And so it expands your horizon.
I mean, yeah, it's a wonderful thing, but the problem with it is that when you come off of tour, you know, you have to, where's the money stops.
Right. So
Unless you're doing well with, you know, licensing or getting songs in movies or just really great record sales, which is difficult on the internet these days.
Yeah. Now, tell us about your new album, Salty Sweetheart, and your experience with the great engineer Phil Green, who you've told me worked with, you know, the Rolling Stones and Bruce Springsteen, all these greats. So tell me a bit about that.
Well, let's see. I was on the road for 2 years, really, and wrote a lot of songs. And I wanted to focus on the song this time instead of the instrumentation. You know, this record is all about the song. I'm looking at you, Doug.
Okay.
So when I was on the road, I was writing the songs that were on this record. But anyways, long story short, I needed to make a record, and I wanted to do it on my own. So I bought an 8-track, you know, cheaply on Craigslist, and I taught myself how to engineer it. I taught myself, and I did it, and I came out great. And so after I did that, after I recorded, I went to different musicians' houses and, you know, mic'd them up, went to New York City, got Rowan, my drummer, in New York, and Russell Chodnosky on the guitar here in Waltham, and I got Robert Rivera on cello, and wonderful musicians I have worked with over the years. Some of my favorites.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I made the record. You know, it cost me $200 to make the record, but it cost me $2,000 to mix it. And I wanted to get a great, so I connected with Phil Green by my manager, Rose. And she knows somebody.
Actually, I know Rose very well. I actually introduced you to.
Yes, you
the
did.
She's been mainstay in your musical career and your just as a friend
Yeah,
as well.
no, Doug, you've been an amazing sort of facilitator.
Yes.
Well, you introduced me to Rose.
Right.
You released my book of poetry years ago.
I did.
You're wonderful at promoting.
Right. But this is not about me, Jennifer. It's about you.
And then you just introduced me to Jack Holland, who's going to do a little playing.
By the way, Jack Holland, that reminds me that October 18th at the Somerville Arts Armory is 7:30 p.m. You'll be playing with Jack Holland and Sam Chase, I believe it is.
No, Sam Franklin.
Sam Franklin and another gentleman's going to be doing ours.
Saeed. Saeed's going to be Zaman. He always gets Zaman. I always say his last name wrong. I'm sorry, Saeed.
And you're going to be playing the song that you just heard, Another Work, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be playing like an hour, a little over an hour set of all original music.
Right.
Yeah.
And how much is the admission?
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, Rose probably knows.
Rose knows.
Okay. I'm sure
it's
going to
be a great night.
It's going to be a great night.
Yeah, it's going to be really lovely. And I think Jennifer Greer is going to come and sing a song with me.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Who's Jennifer Greer?
You know Jennifer. She's well, you guys are kind of connected, I thought.
Really? Never heard of her.
Oh,
Who is she?
I don't know. I thought she was a poet. What's your next question, Dougie?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Maybe I know her. I know so many people, and I forget.
What's your next question? Are we running out of time?
We're not running out of time. Okay. You had a great story about your first informal burst on the stage as a child. Remember that?
Well, I like the second story better. The first story, my sister actually is the one who told me that I did this.
Okay.
And
she's watching, I think.
My sister's watching.
I've met Bonnie, charming woman.
Bonnie is the best.
Right.
That's my sister, and she loves you. She thinks you're great.
Thank you, Bonnie. You have good taste.
But my sister, she told me this story that when I was about, 5 years old, I jumped on the couch in front of all the neighbors and said, "Oh, I'm going to be a professional singer someday when I grow up." Maybe I was 4. I don't know, but
it was in the bone. It was in the marrow.
It was in the marrow, and then I sang "Over the Rainbow" by Judy Garland. She was just I just love Judy Garland.
I do too.
And then after that, when I was probably I was in boarding school. I was probably in like 9th grade, 8th grade. We sang for the homecoming, and there was probably 600 people in the audience. And my friend and I just worked out a song together just to sing. And next thing you know, we're on the stage, and the lights come on, and there's like 1 million people in the audience, and 600 people. But when you're that old, you're just like, oh my God, there's so many people here. But the spotlight came on, and my friend, she froze. It was just like a slow motion. I'm on the stage. I've got this dress on with these high heels, and I'm so nervous. My legs are shaking, right? But then I see my friend froze, and so I realized at that moment it was all on me. And I just looked into the light, and I started singing. And it was like I was flying, but then when it ended, the whole place stood up in a standing ovation. That's marvelous. That's marvelous. And I knew then that a star was born. A star was born.
So let me ask you a question. It hasn't been an easy life for you in terms of music. You're on the road. It's hard to find work. Go from job to job. Jobs, you have to have jobs to support yourself. If you had to do it again, would you make any changes? Would you pursue this life? What do you think?
Oh, wow, that's a good question.
I think you would. I think you don't have a choice. Just as you're a poet, you don't have a choice. The poem comes to you. I think the song comes to the songstress or songwriter.
Yeah, I would do it again, but I would do it like maybe back in time, when the troubadours were truly embraced, and when I could sit at the king's court and be a court musician and know that my food was on the table and I have a nice, a nice life.
Okay.
It's tough out there, It's ferocious.
I know.
But
I do want you to hear that song we're discussing. You to play that lovely song you were saying.
How Long?
How Long?
Yeah. So I wrote this song after the tsunami happened in Japan.
Okay.
So this is really this is a song, well, I think that we don't think about these things very much in our everyday life, but think about it, Doug. If all of a sudden a tsunami crashed into your town and you were going to die, you were in the wave, you were pulled out, there was no turning back, you were on your way, what would be your last thought? What would you want to cling to as your last thought, going under with this wave in the water? And I felt so bad for those people. And I thought, what would my last thought be? And I thought I would want to go out on the song of my son's heart.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Because I want to have time.
To see, can I float on the song of your heart? If I'm rolled out to sea, I just need a piece of your heart. Oh, Mother Mary, comfort us through the eye of the storm. Mother Mary, comfort us. Help us carry If I'm rolled out to sea, can I float on the song of your heart? If I'm rolled out to sea, I just need a piece of your heart. Mother Mary, comfort us through the eye of the storm. Mother Mary, comfort us. Help us carry
That was, again, beautiful, Jennifer. And I think you really hit the mark on that one. Again, I think we only have a few minutes left.
Can I give a shout out to my friends at the piano mill?
Yes. The piano, it's a great place you're working at, I hear. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, piano show. I'm working at a piano showroom with Rob Norris, and amazing pianos of all kinds, Steinways, Kawais, and I get to play them and meet wonderful people and try to sell them the pianos. And
So you actually enjoy going to work?
I do. And then my friend Jim, He's an amazing guitarist, and he sells all these, he collects and sells all these cool instruments, accordions.
Where is it in
and
Rockland? Do they have a website,
horns
Jennifer?
and drums and basses.
Do they have a website?
We have a website.
What's that?
pianomill.com.
And if you wanted to buy a piano, would they come to you?